What is up, everybody? Welcome to Winging It. What episode are we on? 65. 65, yeah. 65. What's up, people? How are y'all doing out there in the various YouTube and Twitch worlds? So this week, we're going to be doing our, our E3 thoughts, the aftermath, as well as talking about a couple things that happened this week that really kind of, I ain't gonna say pissed me off, but it irked me. It irked me. It really did irk me because some of these people, they don't have channels anymore, but they were talking mad-ish last gen about some things, and it kind of upset me because now everybody is being certifiably special. But so before I get to that, but Jack, how you doing, man?
I'm good, man. Like I said, that this week has given me an opportunity to make some new content that I've been looking for. So yeah, they've given me enough to make quite a few videos.
Oh, the ammunition, boy, that was sent out is sweet, but
right.
Whew. Okay, so last week we had off for Father's Day because had to recognize fathers, so we took last week off, so we did not get a chance to talk about the E3 2021 fallout, which we will do now. Overall, Jack, would you say that the digital E3 was a success, or y'all probably need to work on this type deal?
For me, I think it was a success, and this is why. Of course, we had duds for sure, all day. Like
IGN for the
win, right? Like everybody had their duds. IGN had their slip ups. I mean, that's gonna be a typical show, especially if you're gonna have the show live. That's a given. So I'm never going to critique, especially for someone that makes content to where you can't necessarily slip up like that because people point it out. I understand that, especially doing it from a live standpoint. But I think it was a necessary show, because earlier we were speaking about, was E3 even necessary, because everybody's on the digital platform now. Everybody has their own pages and things like that. But it was kind of like a one size fit all situation of, hey, come here. We got gaming news all week. It's not, okay, well, we don't know what Nintendo's doing. We don't know what Microsoft's doing. We don't know what this company's doing. You were guaranteed to know, hey, this company is going to showcase something, if not a few somethings for you. And it's happening all this week. So just be expecting news all this week. And I think that's where I like the idea of E3, even with everything that happened. I like the fact that I was prepared every single day to hear something that may pique my interest. And I think that's why I feel like it needs to stay around, to where we don't have these sporadic dates. It's everything scheduled, opposed to, hey, maybe there's a direct this week, maybe there's one next month. Usually they do this around this time like they did last year. It's been 365 days since this one happened. I already knew it was coming on the 12th, so I didn't have to worry about it. But I think it was necessary. I think it was a good E3 for me, at least.
Okay. It wasn't bad, but my problem is it felt disjointed. It just felt disjointed. I think that either they should have had somebody over it saying, okay, here's the schedule. Everybody, we got to get our schedule done. And before anybody says anything, they knew last summer that they were going to do this year.
Yeah, they knew already.
They knew that. Yep. So there was no excuse for some of the stuff that was happening. Right. It just wasn't. Capcom, y'all should have did better than that. That was no. Square Enix, hell no. Because like what they brought didn't make any sense. Like you could have did that in 30 minutes for Capcom, for example. 30 minutes for you to tell me that you just basically want to pimp the FGC community for Street Fighter. Because you already had like 3 Monster Hunter Directs leading up to this. You had one like literally like 2 weeks before the show. So all you showed was not really a new trailer for Monster Hunter Stories, because you really didn't. It was really in the previous one, so we already knew what was coming up. Right. And you showed the same. This is our release thing for Monster Hunter Rise.
Right.
Hey, Resident Evil 8: The Village came out.
Yeah. Y'all knew about all that. Hey, this is what we wanted to show you. Street Fighter.
Yeah,
So,
like
Street Fighter.
Not even Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 5.
Nah, 6 for what? we still need to do Street Fighter 5 Ultimate, Street Fighter 5 Super Challenge, Street Fighter 5 Super Challenge. And it's like they gotta do a whole bunch of those, man. They gotta take us back to the Super Nintendo days.
Yeah, so I mean, it was one of those situations where I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, y'all could have planned better than this. And if you didn't have anything, then you just didn't have nothing.
I got a theory for that, though. And I'm not going to take credit for this because I did hear somebody mention this and it made perfect sense. What if E3 just wasn't panned out in full and they just asked these companies to show up with whatever they had?
But then again, that's my problem. You knew last year you were going to do this.
For sure.
Last year you were going to do this. It should have been planned way better than what happened. Now, if it wasn't for Nintendo and Microsoft, it would have been done. It would have been I probably would have checked out. I would have checked out. Yeah. I just would have checked out. Now, I will say this: Sony, you should have showed up. You should have showed up.
I don't think they had a reason to show up, though.
I think they did have a reason to show up.
Well, no, I'm saying they needed to. Yeah. But I don't think Sony had anything to show with. Now, granted, they could have done a Capcom and a Square, but I don't think Sony can afford to do that.
To be honest, I mean, with IGN like just showing all the Ubisoft stuff that everybody wanted to see first.
Hey, I'm surprised they didn't show any of Sony stuff. Like, hold on, this is for the state of play. Like, how the hell you get this information? You on my servers?
Yeah, basically. But that's what I'm like, dude. I liked it, but I'm like, it didn't feel cohesive at all.
Oh, for sure.
It just didn't. And it felt too spread out and too disjointed. I think if they were gonna do it, maybe they need to have somebody like over it. The next time they plan on doing, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna try to go live next year. But if they want to do another digital event type situation, they probably need to make sure they have somebody over it to be like, okay, look, Nintendo, Microsoft, y'all got y'all days carved out. All right, cool. Capcom, Ubisoft, Square, this is what y'all gonna do? Cool. Do not give Ubisoft. Do not give IGN your stuff. Just don't. I know I sound like I'm beating up. I know it sounds like I'm beating up IGN, but they showed stuff that they shouldn't have showed.
They were the only ones that did it. Like, so they deserve everything they got. They deserve everything they get.
I'm like, what the? Because you told me, because we had stopped, because we were like, okay, Ubisoft comes on at 3. We'll just log back in like 2:45 and go from there. And you were like, man, they showing Beyond Good and Evil. I'm like, no, this is a pre-show. I look at them like, they're showing IGN is showing Beyond Good and Evil. And then they start showing Skull and Bones. And I'm like, okay, let's jump on in. We jumped on, and that's when we caught the tail end of Skull and Bones. And y'all can go back and watch the video. We got the tail end of Skull and Bones. And then they started showing Assassin's Creed walking. They started showing some other game where they're just walking. I'm like, y'all got caught.
Watch Dogs, all of it. Just like, minutes of them just flying on a drone. They knew they messed up.
So that was funny to me. It was funny. It was hilariously awesome. But I do think it should have been more cohesive than what it was. And honestly, if you start on Saturday, it should not go to Wednesday. So Nintendo, if y'all should have did y'all stuff on Monday. If you started on Saturday, it should have been Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday at the latest.
Right.
Because everybody is not a live show. So the dev stuff that they do on Thursday and Friday that we don't see anyway.
Right.
Why are we going to Wednesday? Just if you're doing Saturday, do Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Let it be 3 days.
And I say it's okay to say no to certain people. There was no reason for Verizon to be there. For what?
There was like, and the Netflix thing was weird because Netflix had their own anime TV movie thing going because they called it a Geek Week, I think it was.
Yeah,
that was going on already earlier that week. So for them to get a show like on what it was Sunday, I think it was when they got their show like Sunday afternoon, you're like
something like that.
What the? Okay, thank you.
I just honestly think they were just trying to fill it out. You know, it was just one of those things of even though they had like a a year heads up, it's only so much I guess these companies are already working on and what they're preparing to work on. So it was
Well,
like, hey, look, we only got this. So within a year's time, if we got something extra to show, we'll be there. But if not, then this is what you get.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's one of those situations where if it was like that, then they just should have did 3 days.
Yeah, for
They
sure.
should have
Yeah,
just
yeah,
did
yeah.
3 days. Just be like, hey, look, Nintendo, you can't go on Wednesday. You got to go on Monday.
Yeah, I
We're
think
just
I think it'll
doing,
be a lot better next year. I think
yeah,
for them, they were just trying to make it a big bang for the return, and they kind of
yeah,
overshot it. They overdid it severely. But it's one of those things to where I think it should be. Let me put that on there. It should be better next year.
yeah, yeah. It should be. Now we do have a couple more coming this year. Digital events. I think
Mm-hmm.
Gamescom's supposed to be one, and Tokyo
Mm-hmm.
Game Show is the other one.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be interesting to see how those add up. Seeing his out, hopefully, and like I said, hopefully they saw what happened at E3 and be like, okay, we need to tighten
Yeah.
our ship up a little bit. And because I'm pretty sure Sony's going to be at TGS, they can't afford to not be at TGS.
The way they rocking, I don't know, man. Sony trying to go Western, man. Sony trying to go Western.
That's a big mistake, but I'm not looking at I'm not sitting on that board. I'm not looking at their numbers, so I can't predict properly. But I think that's a bad idea. Them doing. I told you, I think them closing Sony Japan was stupid.
It was a dumb idea because I mean they had great games, and then the one game you keep, and I say this for every Sackboy fan out there, I think the game has potential. But I rented it for $55 the other day. Let's just say it lasted 2 damn days. That was not the game to keep. If I had to keep a game from that studio, I'm keeping Gravity Rush.
Yeah,
I'm not keeping Sackboy because
Gravity Rush, you can do a lot with Gravity Rush. You can do a movie, you can do an anime, and they still have that department. So you can still make money off that. So
it's something that they should have kept because I get what they're trying to do because initially we all thought Sackboy was going to be the mascot, but then it didn't work out. Now you got Astro that could be the mascot, and the demo or the tech demo or whatever you want to call the game that they gave you for free was a worthwhile game. It was better than the goddamn Sackboy. So it's one of those things of that's where they should go, and then they should have kept Gravity Rush. But like you said, I'm not in there. I don't look at the dollar figures like that. But I know a lot of people didn't buy Gravity Rush 1 or 2. Yeah, I know that for a fact.
Gravity Rush was a fun game.
It was
a fun game.
I think that it being on handheld is what killed it.
Yeah,
because that's not Sony's crowd. That's not Sony's crowd.
They can't they couldn't master that particular crowd. So what needs to improve?
Ooh.
Whew.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Yeah. I mean, you touched on one already, the scheduling. Yeah. Definitely needs to improve. They definitely need to filter out who's showing up, how many shows they have in one day. I think
keep it even.
Yeah, definitely keep it even. I guess make sure that all communication is proper because we had that little debacle with the Nintendo situation because of false information coming from certain reputable sources.
Because they use Google Translate instead of having an actual translator.
As if Nintendo America doesn't exist. They would have told you. But whatever. But that, I mean, outside of that, the timing or scheduling rather, the people that actually have a show and what's really in place, I think the rest of it kind of falls on the people that show up. Because, I mean, there's only so much that E3 itself can do. You as the presenter is really what makes the show. And I think a lot of these presenters didn't present. I think they just wanted to be there to showcase the name.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. So, yeah.
Jesus. And, I mean, and then even with that, Rockstar falling that, not Rockstar, but Rockstar and Take-Two, they fall in that crowd too. They didn't show nothing. Mm-mm. Why are you there?
that was a waste of money.
Waste of money.
To be honest. Yeah, to be honest. And the other thing too, there's nothing wrong with if you don't have nothing. There were a lot of companies that pulled out. I mean, Activision didn't show. Activision wasn't there.
No, but Rockstar's never there. But why? So that's what kind of begs the question: why were you there now?
Yeah. So I get that they just, to me, they just really need somebody, an organizer that says, okay, look, here's the slots we have. We're not doing this. If all these companies have pulled out, okay, fine. We're not doing 5 days. We're doing 3.
Right.
And
Yeah.
this is your time. Nintendo, Microsoft, y'all can flip a coin or play Smash Bros. To find out who goes first. We don't care. Like we really don't care. But one of y'all going
Right.
first, and the other one's going second. So one of y'all going Saturday, the other one going Sunday. Make up your mind which one. And
Right.
Square Enix, y'all go on this day. Capcom, y'all go on this day, and do it like that. Guerrilla Collective, y'all can go on this day at this time. We're just gonna have it like this instead of still trying to spread it out. And there's no point in spreading it out.
Right. Yeah.
There's just no point in spreading out if you ain't got that many people there.
Exactly. And one thing I noticed too was the wording before we got E3. They made it seem like it was going to be something totally different as far as how they were going to give it to us. But like we had the conversation, how are they going to do it? I felt they were going to do it the same way they've always done it. It is nothing new. It's not like this is our first interaction with E3 via the internet. Is just I knew it was going to be what it was. I just felt they were going to either do more demos, I guess more sit downs, and to kind of give overlooks of the game. But hell, Nintendo and Microsoft were the only ones that did it because Microsoft did theirs after the fact, which was smart.
Yeah.
Where they did like a showcase to where they talked to the developers, kind of like a Treehouse Live thing. Mm-hmm. And then we all know Nintendo did theirs the same exact day after the Direct was done. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, give us a little more in depth as into when these games start development, when they're supposed to quote unquote show up. Your vision. Like, I like stuff like that. Yeah, you can shotgun me games, but then at some point within E3, I need you to segment out a time to say, hey, look, okay, well, we're sitting down with this developer because this was like the game we thought was most interesting. So that way we can go a little bit more detailed in this. But honestly, there's no more you can do from the scheduling aspect if the developers don't show up.
Yeah, that's true. And to your point, I think at this point, every company, including Microsoft, needs to have a Treehouse Live.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because this doesn't make any sense. Because I don't like the whole who won E3. Because to me, Nintendo always wins E3 because they actually have Treehouse.
Exactly. Showing you the game.
Yeah, I see gameplay. Like I see gameplay. They're talking to either a producer or a director of the game while they have somebody else playing, and if they're Japanese, they have a translator right there. So to me, Nintendo always wins just because they have Treehouse and nobody else does.
Because guess what? That would have done wonders for Square. They wouldn't have spent so much damn time on Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, which that
is what it is, but that's Square in itself, Square in itself. But yeah, I mean, honestly, if you're showing me games, giving me dates, giving me demos, doing shadow drops, and you're also going over certain games at Treehouse Live, of course you're winning every time because that's presentation in itself.
Yeah,
you're giving me a lot.
Yeah, so Phil, I know you're probably not watching this, but Phil, if you do come across and somebody from Microsoft sends you this vid, please incorporate like a Treehouse Live type deal into y'all stuff from now on. That way,
I think they're gonna start.
We can see that because I think that's an important thing. And I don't know of any gamer or real people that actually like to play video games that would be mad at you for doing that.
Right. Especially, especially with the image of Xbox, to where right now we see all the all the purchases that they're doing, and we don't really know what's going on. Yeah. We don't know what's coming up for these companies. We don't know what these companies are doing outside of a handful of them, and it would be nice, to kind of sit down and have that conversation. Like, okay, well, where is the game at, and what are you trying to work on? Which give people an idea of what it is that you're trying to do. So, I think they do something similar to that with the showcase that they try to do, but sometimes they just do way too much talking on particular games. So they just
don't really see gameplay or nothing like that. No. You just hear talking and cutscenes, and you're like, okay.
Yep, and a lot of green.
yeah. Okay, so there were some games that I think should have been there. And I wanted to get your thoughts on. I'm gonna name a couple games, and I want to get your thoughts on should it have been there, or should they have said something, or was it okay for them to not say anything?
Okay.
All right. First up, that Streets of Rage 4 from .mu. Should they have given us a should they have shown up with something from the DLC or giving us a date or what?
Nah, not for me, not for E3.
No, not for E3.
I think if the game in itself wasn't out yet, yeah. But we've had the game, we experienced the game. The DLC is just kind of like the cherry on top. So
Okay.
to me, I mean, while I would love the information, you can be there, but I don't think it was necessary.
All right. Their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, though.
Yep, it should have been there. It definitely should have been there because it's one thing that you show it to me, but then even if you don't have a date ready for it, that's cool. Show me some gameplay. Show me where you at. That game.
Show me where your mind at.
Right. Show me what you're doing. Show me what extra you're doing because we see where you're going graphically. We see you trying to stay tried and true to one-on-one and then bring it up to modern day times. I get all of that, but come on now, because now I'm worried because I got a feeling it's going to be on like the back half of either next year or going to trickle into the early half of 2023.
Yeah, and I don't want to see that.
Yeah, because I mean, is that a big team? Because is that a big team at all?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Right.
I know for the street I want to say Streets of Rage 4, it was a medium team. I think I read somewhere, but I don't know to be honest. Perfect Dark.
No, I didn't even expect it to add honestly, because if you showed me the way they showed that game and they showed it this year, that game wasn't showing up. It wasn't coming. I didn't even have my hopes up from the Perfect Dark. That seemed like we got the CG out there. It kind of gave me like the Metroid Prime 4 and Bayonetta 3 vibes. Yep. Yeah, that game is nowhere close.
and on that note, Bayonetta 3.
Now that should have been here. That game is reeking of Shin Megami Tensei 5. That's what that's reeking of right now because that game got introduced at the big like when we saw the Switch for the first time.
Yeah, that was in that sizzle reel.
In a sizzle reel in 2017, 2016.
Yeah.
So
both times.
Well, 4 or 5 years?
We're 4 years.
So at this point, we saw Bayonetta in 19.
No, we saw it in 18.
18? Okay.
Yeah, we saw Bayonetta in 18.
Okay, so 19, 20, 21. Okay, we get next year. So that's the vibes I'm getting. And at one point in time, I thought it was purely because of the spacing, but for the simple fact that I guess Bill Trent is saying that it's on the right path, it's doing great, it's moving along. I got a feeling something changed up. Something as far as the pandemic, the idea of the game. Because I got a feeling they had something started with it, but then I don't think anyone expected Astral Chain to get the reception it got. So when it got the reception it got, okay, these ideas work. Flip script. Now let's get to plug in and seeing how we can do this with Bayonetta. Because honestly, if Astral Chain wouldn't have done what it did, I think we would have gotten just an enhanced version of 2. Because Bayonetta has never really strayed too far from the path. I think we just would have got a more graphically impressive, more increasing the story as far as Bayonetta 3 went. But I think because of Astral Chain, they didn't start over. But now they're implementing those things that they were kind of half and half on until they got what they felt was a beta test for these ideas.
Okay, all right, I'll give you that. Okay, gotta bring up Metroid Prime 4, just because.
Yeah, and this is also with Dread being introduced. And the only reason why I say that, regardless of the announcement. Prime 4 is something that I feel like if it's as close as we think it is, should have seen something, a slither of something. Even if you do go the CG route in a way, we should have seen something. I'm not even looking for a date. It's just even when you add into the announcement, I think the announcement was done to get people to shut up. Yeah, because honestly, that was my take. Because they was like, "Oh, all we got was the screen." I was like, "It was to get people to shut up." Because if you notice, yes, we get Switch Pro rumors all the damn time, but Prime 4 was just
above that,
heavy.
Yeah.
It was just too much. Every time we went into a direct, it was Prime 4 and a damn Switch character. every single time.
Yeah.
And I think Nintendo just did it. Just okay, y'all shut up. Yes, it's in production. Now
Yeah.
let's do what we got to do.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's funny because we're gonna get into those Switch Pro leaks
Oh Lord.
in a little bit. But Dre, you all right? Oh, never mind.
The
He got
same
the
thing was
drop.
happening to him on the show the other night. Yeah, his internet
Oh,
was
okay.
not messing with him last night.
Gotcha. Okay. So, all right. You know what? Let's go on to talk about it. So if if you were paying attention in the weeks leading up to E3, every day there was a
Every
Switch
day.
Pro from from a trusted source that it was going to have a video before E3. It was going to be take it back. This would have been first. It was would have been a direct before E3 to showcase it.
Right.
Then when that didn't happen, it would have been a video before E3 to
Right.
let people know what's happening because it's going to happen in the second half of the year. Then it went to being Nintendo's going to show it at E3, even though Nintendo said like, "Hey man, we're only talking software." No, they're going to show it during their presentation. Then when that didn't happen, it's going to happen during the Treehouse Live. I'm like, y'all are killing me with this. Okay, people, there's a reason why me and Shadow Fox were laughing at people when they kept bringing up these. It's going to happen. I'm like, dude. We're in the middle of a chip shortage. I don't know if y'all knows this, but if you're in the IT community, you know that we're in the middle of a chip shortage. That's why if you go and try to buy a computer now, if this are already pre-built, you're on a waiting list. If it's not already pre-built. Some of y'all who game on PC, y'all probably already know this. Certain parts you've been looking for, you ain't been able to find them, have you?
Yeah.
Guess who else is having that problem? Sony and Microsoft. That's another thing. On top of the pandemic and factories just now opening up to kind of stable levels, that chip shortage is not helping with their production issues.
Correct.
If I am Nintendo and my console is about to hit 100 mil by itself, I am not going to then try to trip out an upgrade that's going to kill the sales I'm having now. Right. On top of that, when I know production-wise, I'm probably not even going to be able to put that many out.
Right.
I mean, that just doesn't make any sense. I'm not going to be able to put that many out, so I'm going to kill all the stuff that I already have on store shelves, and I'm close to hitting 100 mil. I'm not doing that.
And then for those, because I hear this too, they got to get it out there before the momentum dies. Where is it shifting? Because the damn show ain't shifting to Sony and Microsoft. So they're just as bad as Nintendo as far as the shortage goes. So the one that you are privy to, the one that does have the games, is the Switch. So you ride the horse out. And like Jay is saying, there's no way I'm going to try to force feed a brand new upgrade, whether you want to talk about a revision or a brand new system altogether. I'm not trying to force feed it, and I don't know the outcome of the chip shortage, especially when the company themselves have said we're not going to let you order in mass because we know why you're trying to do it. We're not going to allow you to do it because the chips themselves don't give us a profit because of how cheap they are in themselves. Like there's no profit being made behind that. So when we look at this from a logical standpoint, there's no reason. I understand why gamers want it because there are games like Hyrule Warriors that do struggle. There are games like, Dragon Quest Builder 2, when you go to the online mode for certain created levels, it chugs. I get all of that. But I say to anybody that's seeing this, why the hell you didn't say this before? Because if that was truly a problem, this console would not be at the sales numbers that it's at. And this was pre-pandemic, so stop the pandemic nonsense.
Yeah.
But and I mean the writing is on the wall. It's the same thing as far as the Wii U, and I guarantee anybody that listens to these episodes, they're gonna get tired of hearing the Wii U to the point they're gonna just go buy another one. Is the writing's on the wall. If I do what you ask me to do, you don't buy it. If I do what you don't want, you buy it anyway. Like I'm as a businessman, that's about the smartest thing you're gonna do. You're gonna give the consumer what they don't know they need, because when you give them what they want, they don't really want it. They just think they want it, and they're not gonna go purchase it.
Yeah, or they listen to influencers and media, and
That's why I'm curious about these Mario Golf numbers. Like, I'm not a numbers, like a sales guy, but I'm curious about these Mario Golf numbers because I saw a load of people that were excited for Mario Golf on Twitter, but then when these reviews showed up, they backed off. And there's a lot of people that saying, "Oh, well, the game seems half baked." For a person that bought Mario Tennis Aces, that game was half baked out the gate. That was, but Mario Golf, this is a full-fledged game, and they've already promised you DLC for free, not even paid. Yeah. So there's nothing missing from this package. It's just you don't like certain aspects and points of it. Like most of y'all don't like golf. Y'all just want to like it because Mario's on it. If you don't like golf, you just don't like golf. Yeah. It's a relaxing thing for me.
Yeah, why would you do that if you don't like golf?
Because it's got Mario attached to it. Yeah. So Mario's supposed to make me like it.
I mean,
that's reality. Mario's supposed to make me like it. So, and that's just reality. So if you look at this golf game, and we can keep going because I didn't mean to get off on the golf, but when you look at this game, you have to where you could play with friends, so it don't take up too much time. Y'all can all golf at the same time. Local co-op. It has a new game mode in the battle golf. Whether you do the speed run version of the battle golf, you have a solo adventure mode, and then you also have solo challenges in the damn game. You can control it with your controller, or you can do motion handheld and on like. What more do you want from the game? And then for people that are complaining about the Nintendo app, the moment I went online and started the online and joined somebody on an online game, I got a notification on my phone like that. Hey, you can use this with the Nintendo app to do voice chat, right? Oh, cool. Thanks for letting me know. I don't want to use it, but thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, because I've been watching YouTube videos of people playing the game. The game looks fun. And that freaking that golf rush, that
joint. I played one round and I was a little confused. I was a little confused at first, but I did the battle one, and then I did the little speed run where you're actually on the golf course. The one that you're in, like that big battle arena, that shit is hectic. Like you're like, the premise is you have to see who can get 3 chip ins at first, like who's the first one to get 3. And so everybody's going to be shooting for that first one because it's right there in front of you. But you go right there in front of you, you get that one in there. If you get hit by a chain chomp, or if you get hit by anything else, and then you got people with the special shots to where they can blow stuff out the way. And for me, using Bowser Jr., once he uses his special, it blows people's stuff out the way. But then he got cloud smoke on the ground, so it's kind of hard to put because you can't see. And it's chaos, but it's fun chaos. And then even for the regular one, I didn't even know this was in there because no one's mentioned it on the reviews. So I was doing really good. Like the first time I was going, everything was smooth, but then I noticed it was doing a countdown for me. And I saw I'm thinking, okay, this is a pretty long countdown for us to hit a ball. But the countdown was only for me because I was the first one to get my ball in the hole for the last hole. So they was like, okay, because you were the last one, you got first place last time, we're going to give you an 18-second delay and let everybody else go first. And then after the 18-second delay, then you get to hit yours and go. So it's kind of like trying to, I guess, make it fair, kind of trying to rubber band it in a way. But I still got my ball in first every hole. But nonetheless, even with that delay, they're trying to make it challenging, if you will. So I mean, it's a great game. I mean, it's a little bit more things I felt like they could have explained in the tutorials, especially when it came down to like using those tornadoes and the different environment changes in the levels. But that you learn all that stuff in the solo game. So if you play the solo game first, you're straight. But Nintendo got to do that 4K. Hit the ball in hole in one, and then it's supposed to give you money behind it for it to be a good game for Nintendo. But
only Nintendo can make a golf game where there's chaos and anvils and everything else falling down, and you just have to go for it.
What other game is doing that? Like everybody wants to mention everybody golf on the PlayStation, but that's a cool game. But honestly, it's not doing anything like this. Like not even close.
So you think you're a good mini golfer, huh? Chain chomp.
Right. I hate that chain chomp now. Like I hated them before, but yeah, I can't stand them.
So yeah, it's little crazy stuff like that, I guess. Dre, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. I'd be better if my computer was cooperating with Wi-Fi.
The internet saga continues.
Because you
Yeah.
have a saga problem. So we were talking to Fallout from E3, and we were just about to go into the sudden interest in the Wii U and why it's trending. And seeing as how you just got on before you get knocked off, I want you to go on and start this one off.
Well, no, luckily I'm probably not going to get knocked off on my Amazon tablet. It seems to be coming in pretty clear.
Oh.
But yeah, everybody's sudden interest in the Wii U. I'm like, told y'all for a long period of time that this system was better than you thought.
Yeah.
But nobody wanted to listen. Had the games y'all wanted, had options for controllers to play with, had a larger number of people being able to be on multiplayer, yeah, and they had other features that are just not on any other platform.
Right.
Well, now the reason why I asked you, Andre, because you were with me in the games at large, and how many people, and I know you saw some people on Twitter loving going back and playing the Wii U, and talking about how this is a real virtual console and all this, and you're like, aren't you the same person that went at us for saying that? Because remember the backward compatibility argument we got into?
Yep.
We were like, dude, there's nothing wrong with backward compatibility. No, I want to play
I
new
want to
games.
play old games.
Yeah, I want to play new games. Game Pass comes out. Oh man, this is the best thing ever. See, this is what most games consoles need to be doing.
Literally, all Game Pass is
flag on the play, 15-yard penalty for bullshit. How the hell you gonna sit there and say that when you got mad when another company did the exact same? Okay, all right.
Game Pass is literally a lot of Game Pass's backwards compatibility.
Yeah, it's OG Xbox and 360. The way more than the stuff that's out now.
Right.
Way more.
Yep.
Because some companies aren't even letting them put it out day one. They like, no, you gotta wait.
Yeah.
Now their stuff is coming out day one. Game Pass, and you can see it through all the stuff because they will tell you real quick. Hey, they want Game Pass.
Oh yeah.
So
quick.
So
in a hurry. They might tell you that before the game even get announced.
Yeah.
Tell me the Game Pass day one. like what?
What's coming Game Pass day one? Don't worry about what's coming. It's just gonna be Game Pass day one.
Just know.
Don't worry. Just know it's gonna be there.
Right. Hold on. Did you hear it was Game Pass day one? Like, yeah, I heard it. Now, what's the game coming out? Horrible, man. But yeah, I can only imagine going through those days with y'all, man. I can only imagine because for me, I wasn't into the whole YouTube thing back then as far as content making, and because I remember getting my Wii U, I thought for sure because I've been a part of console launches before, but I thought for sure, okay, let me pre-order my Wii U. I had already turned my Wii in, turned my 360 in, and I was like, okay, I got it paid off. I'm gonna go to church. And then after church, I'm going to shoot right across the street to the GameStop. No issue, right? I get to the GameStop. I'm the only individual there picking it up. I'm like, okay. Everybody been here already? Because, I got here kind of late. It's like, no, you're not the only one here. It's so weird. But yeah, that whole Wii U situation, like people got talked out of that system before it even released.
Yeah, and the sad thing about it is all I ever heard was it needs the standard features. First of all, if you pay for PSN or Xbox Live, those features are not standard because as soon as you don't pay, as soon as that payment don't go through, it gets cut off.
Lose it.
Exactly.
So that's not a standard feature. Trying to explain that to people gave me a literal headache. But
yeah,
I was sitting there and I remember we always had that conversation and it was like, okay, all this stuff and a lot of these people that's talking about how much they love the Wii U now, if you notice, they're all off Twitch, they're all off YouTube now because it was just so toxic and hectic that they couldn't do it. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, well, hold on. If you're saying this now, what's the difference? What's the difference now than 3-4 years ago? What's the difference?
It's not competing against their console anymore, their favorite console anymore. It's not a threat. It's the same thing like with the Dreamcast. Yes,
Yeah.
PS2
Yep.
was a great system. It's just that people felt the need to dog out the Dreamcast to raise up the PS2's clout for some reason. There was no
And you
reason.
really didn't need to do that. Yeah.
No.
Because I'm going to tell you, there was some Dreamcast games that played better than PS2 games.
Of course.
There was a
Oh, yeah.
lot of them. Just saying. Grandia
There
2.
were. Dead or Alive too,
They're alive too.
which sadly played and looked better on the Dreamcast, even though the PS2 was clearly a superior machine.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I said I give the PS2 its flowers all day, but I'm not going to not give
Do
the
it at
Dreamcast its flowers too. Right.
Yeah.
At the expense of that.
Expense. Yeah. And I think that's the other thing too that I think a lot of people, because I think a lot of it is regret, because when you're trying to keep up with the Joneses in order to, like, have, I guess, get your viewers or anything like that. I understand that.
Right.
I understand that, but at the same time, you got to be true to yourself. And a lot of people weren't true to themselves, and it's showing.
No.
Because
it is. Yeah.
because now you're like, oh, you're loving it. You're trying to get back into it to play all the Metroid games, but I'm like, you said that you didn't want this. Hence why we got the Switch. And I will say this till I'm purple in the face. The Switch is the biggest FU to the gaming industry I have ever seen.
It is. It is. And honestly, like, for me, it does feel like a down step from the Wii U. I enjoy my Switch. Don't get me wrong. It's just one of those things of the Wii U. I'll give people this. I feel like the gamepad could have been built better for sure. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that, the screen on the Switch allows you to, use your finger to touch, and, it feels better, because the one on the Wii U, I know it worked with the stylus, but it wasn't so functional with your finger so much. But I'll give them that as far as, what it is. But as far as a console as a whole, anyone that wants to say, okay, well, the console wasn't this, everyone knows games make consoles. If you're saying that you like the games on Switch, why didn't you like them on Wii U? And then not to mention on the Wii, right? And then not to mention, some of them are worse on the Switch, and I don't mean as performance, but because it's missing the gamepad.
Yep.
So now that
gamepad is integral to a lot of those games.
A lot of them, because you got that asymmetrical gaming aspect, you got the mapping aspect. It depended on what they wanted to do, and when it came down to it, a lot of those games just performed better and made more sense having that gamepad.
Yeah.
This is what it was. I wish they would just bring it back, to be completely honest with you. If they can make a gamepad the size of the Switch, then that'd be cool. And then just have a hard system up under your TV. But I know it's not going to happen because of the situation with the Wii U. And I know Nintendo doesn't recycle an idea twice, it doesn't seem. So
no, it don't seem like they do that. No.
So at that point, that's a dud. It is what it is. But if you talk about virtual console, you're talking about backwards compatibility. You're talking about, having different ways to play, all more power, having ways to expand your memory for cheaper than what we're getting now, because the damn expendable memory is about the same price as, like half of the system at this point. So like they gave us what we're getting now, and now it's being accepted. So that's the bad part.
With less overall features.
Yeah.
Because nothing was better than setting up the gamepad to the side, having your Pro Controller in your hand, and not having to worry about flipping the screen to find a map.
Yep.
All you gotta do is just look at your gamepad. I've done that so many times on so many of those games. That's why I was like, I love Xenoblade Chronicles X. Do not port that thing to the Switch.
That I was looking at a list the other day. I think that's like one of maybe two games that haven't come over outside of Star Fox. Star Fox, you can get away with that. Star Fox, you can do that. But Xenoblade Chronicles X, ain't no way. I'm not flipping that much. Right.
I'm not gonna be flipping that much. Like, it's just way better to have it sitting off to the side, and you can do it like that. And yeah, it's hilarious to me. It's also sad to me, because a lot of people that that are saying how much they love it now. I'm like, you could have said that years ago, but you were scared that you were going to get ridiculed for doing it.
That, and then there are also, I'm for sure on this with a couple people I know, they tapped out on it early because we all know there's not a console on this planet right now that ended the way it started. So even if you look at the 360, the whole blades situation flew out the window towards the back end. So when you look at the Wii U in the beginning, very slow the startup. You know, it had its issues here and there. The eShop wasn't where it needed to be, but then on the back end, it was organized. It looked good. They had the not quick resume, but you know, where you can quick boot into a certain game that you were playing. At that time, you could play on the gamepad solely because I know in the beginning you necessarily couldn't do that.
Certain games could, certain games couldn't.
Right. So I mean, there were a lot of changes that came along with it as it went down the line, and I know a lot of people tapped out early, and that's where you kind of get burnt because even when we go back to talk about Mario Tennis Aces, people that tapped out early are missing a great game right now because they did put a lot in that game and it's there and it's fully fleshed characters, levels, modes, the whole 9 yards. It's a totally different game.
Yeah.
It's called an investment for a reason, people.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, that's one thing I wish people would understand. Gaming is an investment.
Yes.
It's not. I get it. It's become more popular since the 80s and 90s. I get it. But at the same time, it's still an investment. You're making an investment. And unfortunately, a lot of people jump in because I guess they, in a weird way, some people want to fit in, I guess. I don't know. But I'm like,
it's weird. Yeah.
But I'm like, dude, this is like, because like for me, gaming has always been a place for me to de-stress.
Yep. Exactly.
At the end of the day, because especially now, being an adult working 40 hours a week, dude, I 40 hours plus a week. I need something to de-stress sometimes. So I have a lot of hobbies. Right. Gaming is one of them that helps me to de-stress.
That's why I don't play COD. That's solely one of the reasons I don't play COD. I can't, like, I'm not trying to be on edge. Yeah. And then also for me, not trying to see stuff I've seen before in real life on a video game. That's just not my thing.
And that's why I love the different genres, because you can find something for everybody in gaming. Sure. You really can. I mean, if you want to play, they got Uno on Switch and Xbox and PlayStation.
Uno's actually pretty good.
It's actually good. Fun. You know what? You don't have to play it in 120 frames a second to enjoy it.
Oh, don't. But people want it though. Yeah. 30? No, man, not no card game.
Hold on. 30 frames a second for this card game? No, I will not play. I cannot play this trash.
They could have done this to 60. It's only a card game. The logic, bro. The logic is stupid. It's stupid. I know. I try my damnedest not to entertain it, but it's all around me. It's funny too.
It gets funny after a while because you're like, please tell me you're joking.
Please. That's the thing. That's the sad part. They're not joking. At all.
Dead serious. Okay, you are dead serious about Uno need to be 120 frames a second. All right.
Grown ass man. All right, man.
You want to see that? You want to see a Uno card in 8K? You want to see the edges bent?
I mean, and then your TV or your monitor is not even that. Like, come on now.
You got a 1080p. You got a 1080p TV. You talking about you need your stuff in 4K?
Right. Okay. Like, that's like me saying, "Oh, I need my games in 4K 120." I still have a 1080p TV. Like, it can't even do 90. Right.
LCD, like, not even LED. LCD, not even OLED, just LCD.
I still got my Vizio in here, like from 2012. Like, no, nah. I'm cool on all that. When I bump up the 4K, something got to push me. Because to me, I've seen it. So a lot of people are like, "Oh man, you just ain't." Yes, I have a best friend that he just liked to blow money. I've seen it. I've seen a 75-inch brand new Samsung TV with all the bells and freaking whistles with my Series X. I've seen it. And yes, does it look impressive? Yes. But it didn't do nothing for my game.
No. How that gameplay is. That's what the question is, how that gameplay is.
Because it's like A Plague's Tale. I just beat that, 2 days ago, right? That game's been on Game Pass. I just finished it 2 days ago because my 1S ran it like crap. But now I have my Series X. I finished it. And it also looks better. but I didn't care about it looking better. I cared about how it ran because the gameplay. So that's why Switch doesn't bother me. Like I'm even contemplating on picking up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1+2 on the Switch opposed to my Series X because it's a portable version.
Yeah.
And it runs at a smooth 30. Would I love it at 60? Of course. Why not?
But is it a smooth 60 though?
On the Series X, yeah. It's a smooth.
No, I'm just saying, but like,
it's funny,
like, like when people say that, it's because people be saying, "Oh man, it has to be 60 frames a second." Yeah, but is it a smooth 60? Because a lot of these games that be saying, once again, I have to go back to Square Enix sending me that email about Avengers. Yeah, it ain't a smooth 60. You play it on 4K, you kind of gotta drop it on 1080.
It's like, dynamic 60. You know, it'll touch it. It'll touch it in the beginning, but it ain't touching it no more. And like, all right, like it touched 60 one time, so you can just say it's 60 now because it touched it. All right, I guess.
I'll tell you, that's the funniest email I ever read, man. Square Enix sent me an email talking about Avengers. If you play Avengers at 4K, it runs at 30. I'm like, thank you for telling me that.
it's these damn buzzwords, and Shadow be going on rants about this stuff. Honestly, and you know, a part of me gets it too, and this is something else I'll cover a little bit more in as far as my video I'll put up. But at this point, people are so tight about their money that they want surefire deals, and you can't get that in gaming. And like I said, this is what ties into my video about Game Pass, because people are critiquing Microsoft with Game Pass, saying, "Oh, well, you know, we found out this game is not this, or it's not running like that, or it's not running like this." Okay, how's that Microsoft's problem? Microsoft cuts the deal. You want to put your game here? Okay, cool. We need you to be there. And okay, as long as your game don't break our system, whatever. Every manufacturer does that. So why is it now Microsoft's problem to quality check games that come to Game Pass? No one's done that.
It's usually the developer's issue to take care of that.
My point exactly. But now we're at this point to where, opposed to complaining about the 70, now we just want to be guaranteed that it's a good game for 70. So how do you guarantees?
There are no guarantees.
Right. Like the only way you can guarantee that is having something like Game Pass to then in turn around and buy the game. There's no other way for you to, because even a demo can mislead you.
Mm-hmm.
How many movie trailers have you seen to where they showed you the best parts of the movie?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it happens all the time.
It's an investment. It's damn near a gamble. Hey, I got my feel like with Mario Golf. I know what I'm getting from that game. Nintendo has not strayed too far from the path when it comes down to their sports games. So I know what I'm getting for $60. But there's some people that haven't played Mario Golf, so therefore they're like, that don't quite look like 60 to me.
And that's completely
and that's fine.
Yeah, that's completely understandable. I mean, but I understand that too. Plus, I think it also does come down to the developer, because certain developers, they just have that trust. I will never doubt Nintendo's EAD, or I think they call it EPD now. But I would never doubt their team. I wouldn't doubt Insomniac.
No,
I wouldn't.
Square used to be on that damn list.
Yeah, Square used to be, but I don't know what the hell happened over there. But but there's certain developers, like you see them, you're like, okay, I know that I'm getting a certain level of quality with their stuff. Mm-hmm. So at the very least, I know the game gonna run right. Like,
exactly. There you go.
You can say what you want to about ARMS. ARMS runs like it's supposed to.
That game, man. Okay, ARMS is getting the same treatment Splatoon got.
Yep.
And it's gonna take for ARMS 2 to bring people into ARMS. Mm-hmm. That's what it is. People got caught up on it being quirky, different mechanics, and then that dumb joke of what's next, legs. Like, okay. All right. But other than that, I mean, I honestly think ARMS needs a second shot for sure.
Being completely honest, I would play a game called Legs if they had, like, knowing Nintendo's crazy behind it. Yeah, knowing how crazy Nintendo is, I would trust them with something that ridiculous.
Yeah, they could pull it off, but that's the only company I'm trusting with that. I'm not trusting nobody else with that.
Yeah, because that's comedic. That's comedy. But Yeah, I get, because like I love Arms. The only problem I had with Arms, honestly, I think they could have done, because I didn't think people didn't understand the game as much as they wanted them to, and then they tried to make it an esports title, and I'm like,
you can't do that with that. No.
Yeah,
it's kind of hard.
Hell, you damn near can't do that with Smash, but unless you make all these damn different rules. That's why I be laughing at the FGC every time I see, oh, you can't play with this character, you can't play on this stage. I'm like, then that's not Smash, dude. That's right, and you're not the best. I'm sorry, you're not the best. If you have to make all these rules about who can play and what stage can, then you're not the best. Because I will give anybody this. Sakurai himself balances that game out. There ain't no way in the world you're gonna tell me that characters aren't balancing that game. They are. Yeah,
you can't give that to somebody else and get the same results. That's not happening.
That's not happening. So I mean, casual is what they do the casual thing tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch that, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna be playing by himself with two freaking.
Dude, that dude's crazy, man. Like, that dude's a nut, bonafide nut.
He's probably going to take the character through classic path and beat all of them like they beat the computer like he stole something. So meanwhile, making all of us feel like we inadequate.
I am. Like, I'm going to give you that one.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, Sakurai, yes, you're better than us. We know.
So I mean, it's awkward. It's just weird because, you know, with the Switch, even though it caught its flack early on because people were trying to cancel it out pretty fast, when it came down to the games too, it was one of those things of, oh, well, all we got is ports. I'm like, did you not see the first half of these games that were not on the Wii U that we got?
Yeah.
Oh, well, Splatoon 2 was 1.5. Did you play that game? Please tell me you played it, because if not, I'm gonna need you to shut the hell up. Because Splatoon 1 and 2 are totally different things.
Totally different.
Food, man. And that's without talking about the single player that got added. So, and that single player was tough. I'd only know a handful of people that really beat that because it allows you to skip. So even if you're stuck on something,
some of the bosses are
ridiculous. Yeah, but it got you right for online though. So I don't know, man. Like, Nintendo is in a league of their own. As long as they can continue to appeal to everybody, they'll be okay. Microsoft will always be okay as far as they keep their business savvy situation going with subscriptions and cloud services. They're going to be all right, and especially when they're cutting deals with, you know, Samsung and all these other partners to have it to where you could possibly have xCloud directly on the TVs and possibly getting little dongles like the little Fire Sticks to now be, you know, xCloud / Game Pass situations. That's going to be dope for them. But like I said before we got on the video, I'm worried about Sony.
Yeah.
I'm concerned, and I mean that from like a wholehearted place, because I want Sony to stay around. Their first party may not appeal to me. The only first party so far that I've dealt with for this PS5 situation is not even a PS5 game. Is Ghost, because I didn't get a chance to play it when it came out. I'm in love with Ghost right now. Like I've probably done 2 main missions. I've been doing side quests the entire time. Like, this game is crazy. I love this game. Now the camera can be fixed, but I mean, I love this game. But for Sony, you're getting away from the Japan market. You're going Western, and yes, you get love from America and UK, but I mean, that's only gonna hold up for so long.
Yeah, I mean, well, you know how I feel. I'm like, they should have never let go of the exclusives they had. They had a few mascots. They had a few that could have been bona fide mascots, and yeah. So, I mean, I think they've made a lot of questionable decisions as far as gaming is concerned. We're not going to talk about the rest of their stuff. But, yeah, you can't keep up with the Joneses. You got to be unique. That's why I will never – that's why I will say, like, Nintendo needs to stay doing what they're doing. When people say they need to do what other people are doing, what would make them unique then?
Even outside of that.
Yeah.
Why would I do what everybody's doing if I'm more successful?
Yeah, and the killer with that is, and this is, and I'm gonna say this, and then we can wrap up. Okay. Nintendo tried that already in the 6th gen with the GameCube, and you didn't buy it.
Yeah,
and then Iwata told everybody, like, look, man, this chasing power is not sustainable. We're seeing it's not. It's not, because if you're on a PC, then yeah, you can make whatever modifications you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Consoles can't really do that.
They lock down.
Yeah, they're just locked down like that. So, I mean, if you keep saying, "Oh, we got to have this, and this," and to be completely fair and honest, if you have a console, it's not going to be what the top of the line PC.
Nah,
The top of the line PC can do 10 times what Series X and PS5 is going to be able to output, and that's just the truth.
Right.
That's just the truth.
They win out because they're smaller form factors and you don't have to do so much troubleshooting. But yeah, that's just what it is. I mean, honestly, when it all comes down to it, if people really want to see where I feel like the gaming market's going, look at smartphones. Look at smartphones. LG tapped out 2 months ago.
Yeah,
they officially tapped out and said they're not in the cell phone game anymore. They're gone. But the thing was, LG was kind of like the Nintendo of cell phones. They were the ones coming up with the quirky ideas, doing stuff like the last phone they made was the LG Wing. It was literally the phone that flipped up and it looked like a T. Yep. And so like you got a screen up top, and then you can kind of like even control your camera with the one at the bottom, or have something up top and watch that while you're doing something. Like, it was a great design. I mean, it was a little quirky for a phone, but it was a great design. But they were the ones that were going out the pocket to try to figure it out. But if you look at the last standing, I guess you could say, phone manufacturers with Samsung and Apple and, possibly Huawei and companies like that, you see them pulling crazy stuff now, trying to figure out how to advance phones, because graphical power, once again, we have so much power in these smartphones to do what? Most people go to social media or take pictures with the camera. So that's why they went the camera route. Let's advance the camera, because there's nothing more we can do on the cell phone side of it. Then now we're back to flip phones. We're back to these, the clamshells, they're trying to do the rolling screens, the bending screens. Yep. They're trying everything in their power, because in all honesty, there's no reason for us to get a new phone every year. There's no reason.
There's not. Yeah, there's really not. So, and they have to keep, they keep trying to put them out, and you're like, dude, there's no reason for this.
There's none. So, I mean, at the end of the day, if you want to see where the gaming market seems to be going, it's the cell phone market. The cell phone market just is no longer saturated, because everybody's dying out. And really, Samsung, maybe you can mention Google and Apple, are the ones at the top leading the race.
And that's because they actually have the money to keep doing that.
Right.
But it's going to get to a point where they probably going to have to be like, okay, look, this is not cost effective anymore.
No, not at all. Look at there's no other company I see where the gaming company is the leading profit getter for like a multi-division company. Like Nintendo's gaming toys, and like we said, the little love shacks that they got. But Sony has more than just a game division, but the game division is the one that's making the money. That's not like that for Microsoft. Microsoft got other things that's shooting through the roof. Xbox gaming is just there.
Like Xbox gaming is actually just because, for the most part, the last time I read, like, they didn't make a profit for a while.
No,
a long time. They were just there. That's why, like, one joke that me and Shadow Fox have is, I know the television sitting right there looking like, y'all go in the red one more time and see when I sell y'all. Go in the red one more damn time.
Like, just ready to press that button. But the subscription stuff is saving them, because that's what Microsoft wants.
Yeah, that's going to PC. That's going to PC.
It's a perfect fit for them, so they're not going anywhere. So now, when you look at, okay, what's next? Because honestly, Nintendo was bound to go to 10th generation way before Sony and Microsoft do.
Yeah,
Nintendo can afford to just kind of play around and figure out what's up. Because for me, I feel like they just do a Wii U too, not call it that, but do a Wii U too.
I think they probably, or at least bring some of them features back. Please bring back the Miiverse. And because I mean, I know why you got rid of it, and I understand why you got rid of it. But it was still something that I think that people actually liked and enjoyed. Even the people that hated the Wii U loved the Miiverse, which to me didn't make a bit of damn sense. But hey, whatever, it is what it is. So that's just that. But all right, people, we hit the hour mark. So you guys know I don't like to go too far past an hour. Thank everybody for watching. So Jack, anything you want to pimp out?
I'm like the only one on the channel that is kind of iffy on the content. So, but for sure, I do have some more videos coming out, more to speak on this whole Game Pass, Nintendo, and then also the future of these three companies. Just kind of giving my perspective of where I see them going, and not from a bias standpoint, but just kind of being around gaming for a long time and seeing a lot of companies fall off, whether it was developers or, you know, accessory makers, like just seeing them all die and realizing that it was either the fault of their own or trying to stay up in this arms race, and they just can't afford to do it because they had to sell more than what they were able to sell. And you know, I just kind of see this killing itself off, and Sony and Microsoft not being in a position to do what Nintendo do because they've already pitched their fans, hey, we're the graphic powerhouse. You can't now dial back and say, hey, we're doing what Nintendo doing. There's no way you can do it. You already, you know, the bit too big of a chunk off. So yeah, I got a video coming up. It should be up. I want to say Tuesday. It should be up. And yeah, outside of that, that's pretty much it, man.
All right. I did plan on doing a live stream of Scarlet Nexus, but I have some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna try to do that tomorrow afternoon sometime. I did put up a movie review for Rurouni Kenshin, the final, that's available on Netflix. You guys can check that out. It's in the yeah, y'all see it when y'all click on the channel. I will say this. I do apologize if it feels like I was rambling. I didn't have all my thoughts together right for that, so I may go back and redo it. I haven't made up my mind yet. I did put some gameplay up for Monster Hunter Stories demo. You can check that out over on the gaming channel. Did a live stream of that yesterday.
I like that.
I am going to try to do a live stream of Neo World Ends With You. Sometime this week. I will let you guys know. I have actually been moved around, so my afternoons are now freer than they used to be. So I'll be able to do some live streams in the afternoon, probably around 4 or 5 o'clock, somewhere in there, every afternoon, or most afternoons. I'm going to try to do something live stream, just to put some content on the gaming channel at least. So yeah, that's probably what I got, and we'll see you guys back next week. Before I forget, I did watch the Demon Slayer, the Mugen Train anime. It is out. It is available for rent on I think it's on Apple and Google Play. I'm watching it via Google Play. I went to Funimation to see if it's up there. It's supposed to be up there, but I couldn't. They got the placeholder for it, but I didn't see where you can add it to your queue. Maybe
Funimation about to get canceled. That's what Funimation bullshitting.
But it may be there today. I tried to do that last night. I didn't see it. So just so you guys know if you want to do that. And I'll probably be reviewing that one as well next week sometime. So be on the lookout for that. Other than that, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully, Andre will have his computer problems hopefully taken care of by then. We were trying to get him in, but he kept getting kicked out, so we don't know what was happening. So we'll have him back next week. But we will see you guys next Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube and on Twitch. Peace.
Peace.